I'm not sure if you've heard about it, but there's this thing going around called AI that everyone's a little bit excited about, jumping up and down. Yay, AI can do this, AI can do that, yay. And I get it, it's very exciting. So in this video, I'm not going to talk about how you can hack AI to develop 9,625 pieces of content every minute. Instead, I'm going to tell you why I think that's a pretty terrible idea from a marketing perspective. My name's Chris Hargraves. I'm from Known, Liked and Trusted, where we do digital marketing for lawyers and law firms. And you will be very tempted, if you are a lawyer, to save time by using something like ChatGPT. Let's face it, that's what most people are talking about at the moment, to write entire articles. Because it's like magic. You just type in this thing saying, hey, ChatGPT, can you please write me a 500-word article about tax law? And it will go tappity, 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 tap, and out will come the words. You cut and paste them, and lo and behold, you've got a blog post. And if you do that a lot of times, then you can come up with an amazingly large amount of content very quickly. Now, probably what you think I'm going to talk about is the usual stuff, and I have in fact written about this already, so I'm not going to talk about it. It's things like this tiny problem that ChatGPT gets stuff like really wrong fairly regularly. There is a slight concern that it makes up legal citations, so that could be a problem if you have any desire for credibility, I guess. Not that I'm a big fan of using legal citations, but if you put those in your article from ChatGPT, look, you might as well just assume they're probably going to be wrong, and that's going to cause problems for you down the track if anyone ever gets around to fact-checking what you have in fact provided. But I'm not talking about that. I want to sort of zoom out a little bit more and talk more about the actual purpose of marketing and content marketing in particular. Because the reason we like the idea of ChatGPT, or for that matter, a lot of services that can churn out a lot of words very quickly, is because we A, are time poor, B, believe that we should be producing content for our websites, and C, and here's the clincher for today, believe that the principal purpose of that content is to provide information. Now, I am not going to disagree with the fact that a purpose of your content marketing program is to provide information. Particularly in the legal field, we are about providing information. We provide helpful information or checklists or handy tips or whatever it is we say. A lot of our content is about providing information, but that is not the only purpose of the content. And this is what distinguishes excellent law firm marketing from, law firm marketing. And we want to be aiming for this one, not for that one, if at all humanly possible. And it is this. Whatever happens in terms of ChatGPT, even if you tell it to write something in the style of Eminem lyrics or whatever it is you feel like producing your article in the form of, is not going to reflect the personality of you. It's just not going to sound like you. It's not going to be something you would otherwise write. It might be very well expressed. It might have interesting examples. It might even from time to time be accurate, so that would be nice. But for principal marketing purposes, we are about relationship development with other humans. And that relationship has to be developed on the grounds of some degree of authenticity. And this is why having your content produced by AI is not necessarily the pinnacle of marketing achievement. It's good for bulk, and yes, I have said we should be getting more content out there, but that's not necessarily the only thing we need to be thinking about. What we need to be thinking about is if someone comes to us and has a meeting with us off the back of an article, will we sound like, feel like, give out vibes the same as our marketing efforts? Or is there going to be this significant disconnect between how we look in the marketing program, by which I mean look and feel and sound like and write like and present like, and how we are in the real world? Okay, it's like when you go looking for an Airbnb and they put this picture up of this palatial mansion that is the most gorgeous thing in the history of the world, and you get there and it's just a nice house. Or it could be a shack, or it might not exist at all. There's a disconnect between the marketing and the reality. And okay, I get that we market for the best of ourselves, but it's still got to be ourselves, not something completely unrelated. If we are marketing for relationship development, which we should be and which is what we should be aiming for, then the content we produce needs to reflect in some fashion the personality that we are hoping to present to the world at large and our prospective clients. Even better, that personality we project through our marketing should align with and be consistent with the personality that we actually have when people come to see us. Without that, it creates this semblance of potential distrust, okay? If there is a mismatch between the presentation here and the reality here, we have the problem that there's a little bit of a distrusting moment when someone comes to your office and it's like, oh, okay, that's, you're not what I expected. Now, that might be a good thing or it might be a bad thing, depending on how your marketing program goes. This is actually a key reason why incorporating video marketing into your marketing mix is a good plan, because people don't need to guess what your personality is going to be like based on your written content, and instead can literally see it happening as you present yourself in video format, doing webinars, doing presentations, things like that. It's much harder to hide who you are. Admittedly, the presentation us is sometimes a little bit different from the in-person, sociable, affable us, but it's closer still. When we write things though, if we're writing them well and if we've been training ourselves to market well, we write them with a style and a finesse and an expression that actually sounds like ourselves, gives examples like we would give, and generally comes across as something we would write. And that's something that AI is not going to be able to do for you. Okay, so ignoring all of the practical and technical issues at the moment with ChatGPT producing long-form content in particular, that I think is an ideological reason why it's not necessarily a sound marketing proposition to necessarily be using it for that kind of long-form content. Are there avenues in which ChatGPT is going to be useful for your marketing? Yes, of course there are, and I will get into them at some point, but for today's purposes, before you get all excited about automating like literally every single piece of your marketing program, consider this. What is the fundamental purpose of your marketing program? Okay, is it just spewing out information at a rapid rate, or is there a deeper purpose in terms of relationship building with actual humans, between people? And if there is, how are you going to achieve that in the content you put out? Because at the end of the day, that is the goal. So think twice or even 3 times before relying on ChatGPT for that kind of marketing. Sure, it could nudge you in the right direction, give you ideas, do lots of other helpful stuff. But for now, I would personally be staying away from it in terms of producing long-form content. There may come a time where it can pluck personality directly from your brain, and that will be a terrifying day for us all. So with that beautiful thought, I will leave you and see you next time.